St. Paul writes to the Corinthians, "By the grace God has given me, I laid a foundation as a wise builder, but each one should build with care." Today is about how we build with care. To begin, I want to frame our conversation today not just around data and charts, but around our identity as a Catholic school and as Catholic educators. There's a story about 3 stonecutters. A traveler asks them what they are doing. The first says, "I'm cutting a stone." The second says, "I am making a wall." The third looks up, eyes full of light, and says, "I am building a cathedral." We are not just cutting stones. We are not just teaching algebra or grading essays. We are building the cathedral of the human person. We are here because we believe that every student who walks through our doors is a temple of the Holy Spirit. This perspective changes how we view instructional improvement. St. Paul continues, "For we are co-workers in God's service. You are God's field, God's building." Our mission of our school is to educate the whole person, spirit, mind, and body. To the secular world, instruction might just mean transferring information. Although this is true, to us, instruction is formation. Every lesson plan, every assessment is a brick in the life of a student. The question our school improvement plan asks is simply, is our instruction effectively reaching every single soul in this building? Today, I want to walk you through our school instructional improvement plan, our inspection of the foundation, if you will, and our new curriculum guide, the blueprint for the next level. This brings us to the heart of our strategy. I want you to look at this image. This is the Archbasilica of St. John Lateran in Rome, dedicated in 324 AD. It is the oldest public church in the Western world. Why is this our symbol today? Because over the last 1,700 years, this church has been ravaged by fires, nearly destroyed, and left in ruins by neglect. But it was never abandoned, it was restored. Every time it crumbled, builders came back to the same holy foundation and rebuilt it stronger. The Basilica School is our Lateran. We have a 150-year-old history. We have a holy foundation. Built like this great church, we have areas that need restoration. The school improvement plan for instruction is not a demolition order. It is a restoration project. We're fixing the cracks in the wall so that our Catholic light in school on our island stands stronger for the next generation. First, let's look at the strength of what you all have already built. The foundation here is rock solid. In 2024 and 2025, at the high school level, our students achieved 100% pass rates in biology and U.S. history and 95% in AP courses. In elementary and middle school, from 2024 and 2025, Terra Nova assessment scores showed that 2nd through 8th grade students are averaging higher than the national average in nearly all subjects. You have laid a foundation of excellence that is elite by any standard. St. Paul, though, warns us to build with care. When we inspected our structure, we found small fractures, places where the mortar is missing. We found an analysis gap, as our 8th grade students are strong readers, but high school demands a rhetorical rigor that we aren't fully preparing them for yet. We found a data gap. Our students know their math facts, but they struggle to interpret complex data of the modern world. These are cracks that we need to seal. So let's take a look at our data. This is from the Terra Nova assessments from 2024 and 2025. This is the elementary school data, so 2nd grade through 5th grade. If you look at the strengths and the weaknesses with reading and language, the strengths, students know key ideas and details. They know writing strategies, convention and standard English. We're all strong and above national averages. However, reading informative text were a weak spot for our students, and also sentence structure. This is also elementary school data, but focusing on math, where we see solid understandings of operation and algebra, but weaknesses in geometry, measurement and data, and fractions. Moving on to your middle school data, this is also from Terra Nova from 2024 and 2025. Reading informative text is a strength, which considered to elementary, that shifted in middle school. However, reading literature text was a weakness. That is one reason why there has been an introduction of more classical literature in the middle school grades. Language, sentence structure here is a weakness. So there's a gap from elementary to middle school that this plan is going to address. This is the middle school math data. We see the same continuation of a weakness in geometry, expressions and equations, the number system. So some of these gaps or inconsistencies continue. Moving to high school, where all this data is new since our high school is only 4 years old. So for instance, 2025, we only have that for U.S. history since last year was the first junior class. But high pass rates, the school average score is higher than the state average by far. So very, very solid foundation here. The only gap we see here is a hitting gap where not all students can take the EOC, as they can opt out if they would like to. This is a continuation of our high school data looking at PSAT and SAT scores. Although we do not have a lot of data, for instance, the only SAT scores we have right now is from our class of 2025 cohort, the first graduating class of the Basilica in quite some time. However, we do see continuation of knowledge gaps and skill gaps. For instance, a math data gap for grade 9 was identified, where this aligns with the previous data showing the K-12 data analysis weakness. So we're going to use this data to help improve our instruction. Most importantly, we looked at the hidden parts of our data. We have 84 students on individual learning plans and a 400% increase this year in English language learners. We cannot have a two-tiered building. To build it with care means building a structure that holds everyone. So how do we fix the fractures and extend the foundation? We need a unified architectural plan. I am introducing our new K-12 vertically aligned curriculum. This isn't a script you have to memorize. It is a framework. It ensures that the truth you teach in 3rd grade connects directly to the truth they need in 12th grade. It is a blueprint that keeps us building the same cathedral. This brings us to the core of today, the unified vision. I want to pause here. None of this is new. We are Catholic. We are just committing to the Cardinal Newman educational standards. We are classical. We teach grammar, logic, rhetoric. We are just agreeing to use those terms in K-12. We are STEM. We are stream certified. We have the labs and the scores at the high school level. We are just formalizing the data strand. We are inquiry. You ask great questions every day. We are just using COSA's levels to give us a shared language for it. We aren't changing our culture. We're just saying it out loud. So if the data showed us where the cracks are, for instance, the analysis gap and the data gap, this slide shows us exactly how we're going to fix them. We're picking up 3 specific tools to sharpen our instruction for student improvement. First, to fix the analysis gap in reading, we are leaning into our classical roots with disciplinary literacy. For too long, we've taught students to read stories. Now we must teach them to read arguments. This means we aren't just reading a novel and asking what happened. We are pairing it with classical literature and historical sources, asking, how is this argument constructed? We're teaching students to think like scholars, not just consumers of text. We're also implementing a K-12 data strand. This isn't a new class. It means that whether you're in kindergarten counting animals on the ark or in physics calculating velocity, you're constantly practicing the skill of interpreting evidence. And finally, to ensure this rigor reaches everyone, we are sharpening our inquiry with COSA's levels of questioning. We do a great job at level 1, asking students to recall facts, but our goal this year is to live more in level 2 and 3. We want to stop asking, what is the answer, and move to, how do you know? And what if this changed? This deepens the questions and moves us from memorization to true ownership. These are not 3 new initiatives. Many are doing this already in their classrooms. But there are 3 ways of saying the same thing. We are raising students who can read the world, analyze the evidence, and speak the truth. So we just talked about the strategies: disciplinary literacy, data fluency, and inquiry. But strategies without a plan are just good intentions. We need a place where these strategies actually live. That is why we're launching the new K-12 vertically aligned curriculum guides. Now, I know curriculum alignment can sound like a buzzword. So to show you exactly what this looks like, I have already completed the grades 6 through 12 English and Social Studies guides. These are live right now, but are continuing to be changed with teacher input. I didn't just list textbooks. I looked at the skills our 12th graders need. Skills in AP and dual enrollment, for instance, and I mapped them backward all the way to 6th grade. Here's exactly what I did in these guides and what I will do for the remaining subjects. I mapped the specific skills, like analyzing an argument, so that 7th grade teacher knows exactly what was taught in 6th grade. This shows scaffolding. Integration. I took our Catholic identity using the Cardinal Newman educational standards and wove them into the units. Resource selection. We selected the texts and primary sources that specifically drive that disciplinary literacy we just discussed, using classical literature that was recommended by our high school classical teacher, Ms. Copa. For the teachers in the room, here's why this matters to you. This guide eliminates the question, what did they learn last year? With this guide, you aren't just teaching a single class in isolation. You can see exactly how your unit sets up the success of the teacher down the hall. Now, we are going to use the same blueprint to align math and science in the other grades, ensuring that every subject and grade tells a coherent story from start to finish. Now let's talk about the craft of teaching. We are adopting SIOP strategies, Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol. Please do not let the acronym scare you. In simple terms, SIOP just means making content comprehensible. We know we have had a 400% increase in English learners, but here's the secret. Good instruction for an English learner is good instruction for every learner. When you use a visual to explain a concept, you aren't just helping the student who speaks Spanish. You are helping the student with the ILP, the student who is a visual learner, and the student who just needs clarity. We are moving our questionings from simple recall to deep theology analysis using Costa's levels of questioning. We aren't just choosing between the rigor of our academics and the heart of the church. We are building both. We're using the curriculum to sharpen their reason. We use the mission to deepen their faith. As St. John Paul II said, these are the 2 wings on which our students will rise. So we have the vision, we have the metaphor. Now let's look at the actual roadmap. This represents our school improvement instructional plan for the next 18 months. It is built on 3 pillars: development, excellence, and accountability. First on the left is curriculum development. This is the what. Our target for the end of this school year 2025-2026, is to finish the alignment for our core subjects, English, Social Studies, and Math. Then, by fall 2026, we will tackle STEM and electives. This phased approach ensures we aren't rushing. We are building the map one section at a time so it is done right. In the center is instructional excellence. This is the how. This isn't about giant workshops once a year. It's about what happens in the first 10 minutes of every day. We are implementing cognitive entry tasks, or bell ringers, that use Costa's levels of thinking. We want every class to start with inquiry, not just logistics. We are also making inclusive strategies, SIOP, a daily habit. Again, good instruction for ELLs is good instruction for everyone. Finally, on the right is data and accountability. This is the check. When you see admin walkthroughs, please know this. We are not looking for gotchas, we are looking for fidelity. We want to see if the map we built is actually working in the classroom. And through our data-driven PLCs, we will look at the results together. If the data says a strategy isn't working, we'll adjust. We'll fix the wall before it cracks. This plan takes the big ideas we've discussed and turns them into a calendar. It moves us from hoping for excellence to scheduling it. The Archbasilica of St. John Lateran still stands today because every generation accepted the responsibility to restore it. Now it is our turn. The Instructional School Improvement Plan isn't a critique. Actually, we have a very solid foundation, but it's our restoration plan. You all are the builders. You are the co-workers in God's service. Let us take these tools and build a school that is worthy of the name it bears. I want to close with an image you all know well. When we used this graphic a few years ago, it was a rallying cry to physically build our new high school. It represented our capacity. It meant we finally had the space to keep a student from pre-K to 12th grade. But today, as we launch this vertical alignment, this image represents something deeper. It represents our continuity. With this new curriculum, from start to finish, isn't just about building or the building students sit in. It's about the truth they learn. Vertical alignment simply means that the seed we plant here is the same fruit we harvest here. It means the data fluency they learn in 2nd grade becomes a biolab they ace in 11th grade. It means the Bible story they hear in kindergarten becomes a theology they defend in their senior thesis. We have already built the walls. That work is done. Now, with this curriculum, we are building the legacy. We are ensuring that no matter which teacher they have or which grade they're in, they're walking one continuous, unbroken path to the truth. Thank you for walking it with them.